whenever I present it, Four Noble Truth, and it's as the truth of suffering, cause of suffering, cessation, and the path. And all of those, and you have good idea about it. And also you have heard that Four Noble Truth sort of running circle of 3 times. Purpose of the suffering is to know. Purpose of cause of suffering is to avoid. Purpose of the third truth is to obtain. Purpose of fourth truth to practice. To meditate. And then the third round, yes, you have to know sufferings to know, however, there is nothing to know. Yes, you have to avoid cause of suffering, yet there is nothing to avoid. Yes, you have to meditate the path, but there is nothing to be meditated. Yes, you have to obtain the cessation, yet there is nothing to be obtained. So these are the 12 rounds of a Four Noble Truth. So which you people very well informed and all that. But now when you're talking about the Mahayana level of the Four Noble Truth, and there are 16 rounds. There are 16 mispresentation or misunderstanding of Four Noble Truth. So each one of them has to be refuted in your mind. Or criteria and where and how you actually it is the reliable how do you establish those within your mind? I'm not talking about as a philosopher. I'm not talking about debating, dialectical debating. I'm talking about a simply practitioner. How do I present, how do I say, like say 4 criteria of truth of suffering. Impermanent, suffering, empty, no ownership. Mida, dunge, tong, dame. No ownership. 4. Like 4. And there are why? There are teachers, there are practitioners, there are a lot of Vedic teachers, and particularly those of Samkhya, Samkhya, Samkhya schools, and all those Vedic schools, many times they tell you it is permanent. It is not impermanent. It is permanent. And if you look at it, many of us traditions that are close to us in our culture will think that way too. Many of us in the West, people will think if you go to hell room, you go to hell room forever and will never come back. Sort of you vanish it in hell room for million years to come or something like that. Almost, they don't say it, but almost they do and think that way. So that becomes permanent. And Buddha says it is impermanent because it changes. Simply it changes. When it changes, it doesn't become permanent because it's changing. It's the truth. When it's changing, it's a clear indication it is impermanent because you don't change permanent. Meaning or the definition of permanent is not possible to change. So when it's changing, it shows it is not permanent. That's like even impermanent criteria of truth of suffering form. So out of that we touch that impermanent today. And then empty. Empty of this particular criteria of empty is not emptiness empty. Anyway, so we'll talk to you next Sunday whenever I talk to you. So remember there are 16 wrong or misinformations about. These are very much interconnected with the definition of self too. And I think in our summer retreat, upcoming summer retreat, and there's just so much of that, who is me, is going to be very much important point of subject. A very much important point of subject. So, and so who is me, and what it is, and what is absolute truth, and what is wisdom is all about it, and it's very much going to be in the summer retreat, and hopefully we'll be able to complete the Madhyamaka, or if not, at least a certain level wherever we could go, we'll do that. And so these are going to be very much interrelated, because in the Mahayana path, or even Theravada path, two paths, wisdom and compassion. So all those four noble truths is also base for compassion, but also base for the wisdom. That's what it is. Wisdom is nothing but searching the absolute truth. Absolute truth is seen at the level where you have path of seeing and a non-dual concentrated on emptiness. Non-dual means nothing else. There is no meditator. There is no subject of meditation. There is a meditation. There is nothing. Everything is become one. Just like, that's why they call it space-like emptiness. Space, there's nothing else to point it out. And all of those, and because that's just really what is emptiness is all about. So far, all these years, you have heard a lot, but there are a lot you didn't hear. I'm sorry. Honestly. So that's that. And so you're thinking what you're going to take home is the Mahayana. Every one of us are Mahayana practitioners. What do you practice is the love, compassion, and what you are seeking is it is perfection, and what is our goal is to be fully enlightened, Buddha, or you may not call it total knowledge or enlightenment, whatever you call it. Not just ordinary enlightenment. It is ultimate enlightenment. And how we're going to get over there is through the two paths, and that of wisdom and the compassion. And you have to have both. Wisdom alone will not do, because wisdom alone will give you so much insight, but almost all the relative matters are totally ignored. So much so that they focus on awareness. Really focus on awareness. This is it. This is flower. This is flower. I see flower. I know flower. This is a yellow one. So that is how you really focus. We used to make jokes too. You make jokes too. You see, yeah, the phone is ringing. Okay, acknowledge the phone is ringing. So now I have to pick up the phone. I must get up. I must walk. By the time when you reach to the phone stops. So phone is stopped and don't go back. But that is, I'm not making fun of it. But the idea is to show you that much awareness. That much awareness, because non-duality, for total focus, is not an easy to develop. So you have to have a perfect awareness. And perfect awareness is everything you have to be aware. So each and every one of them you have to draw attention, acknowledge, perceived, acknowledge, recognize, hold it, and then pick the next one. That is how the sudden trainings do. So the whole idea is to get insight, deep insight, non-dual state. Non-dual state has to be state with emptiness. Anything other than emptiness is not going to be subject, because it's not a truth. Because it's not a truth. How do you know it's not a truth? Because that particular special wisdom said so. Funny, huh? Anyway, thank you so much. And I guess that's that. Somebody has to let me all beings.